Welcome back everyone to Recreating Posters, a series on this channel where we recreate musical posters. It's not that hard a concept to grasp. This is episode 5. I've done 5 of these now. And through that time, I've recreated many a poster. We've recreated Matilda. We've recreated Wicked, where I painted myself green. We've done Cabaret. We've done so many musical posters. And you know what? I'm not stopping. I returned and I asked you for some more musical posters. I picked 4, and you know what? Going forward, I'd like to start theming these a little bit. You know, because we got so many musicals, I want to kind of group together similar musicals together. And this episode's theme is all about new musicals or musicals that were grown here. I was going to do musicals I want to come back into the West End, but one of these posters is already in the West End right now. But let's have a go at recreating some posters. But if you haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Ellie. I talk about theatre. I am the most chaotic theatre person on the internet. I do reviews, I do discussions, I do versus brackets and rankings, and if any of that sounds interesting to you, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It really helps me out, helps the channel. But let's dive into this episode's posters. So, I have narrowed it down to 4 new contenders. The first one is the one that is currently playing in the West End, Titanique. I recently did a thumbnail for Titanique because I don't have a version of this poster with the British cast. And I was like, oh, I want the British cast on this thumbnail. So I managed to find a lot of the assets that make up this poster, including the background, including the boat, thanks to some other posters on some of the other Titanique websites. So I already have a good foundation to make Titanique. I've already done it. I've had the practice. I've done it with the professionals, and now it's time for me. Now it's time for me to put myself in there. What are the biggest challenges with this poster? Well, I don't look very much like Celine Dion. The best dress I have is not gold and sparkly, it is blue. But hey, that matches the heart of the ocean, even though I don't know how much of a fan Celine Dion is of the colour blue. But we're going to try our best. Next up, why am I so single? Why am I single? I know it wasn't perfect, but I had such a soft spot for that show. Look, I could have made this easier for myself. I could have said, hey, you know what? I'll just do Oliver and Nancy. I'll just do Lisa Tully and Joe Foster. But I've picked this poster where the entire ensemble is also on it. So to make it more difficult for me, I'm going to recreate and make myself into every single person on this poster. Yes, that means I have to take 14 different photos in 14 different outfits. Yes, I commit. Going on to the next one. Oh, a musical I absolutely miss. Amelie. Amelie has my absolute heart. I was recently back at the Criterion to see Titanique, and I walked past the poster of Amelie and I almost cried because it's so beautiful and it's so good, and I miss that musical so much. Now, there's a couple of different posters I could have picked for Amelie. Amelie, you know, it gave us a bit of variety. But the other ones didn't really seem to interest me as much as the original tour photo. This one of Audrey Besson sitting on the Amelie logo was the one that called out to me the most. As long as I can get, like, the right angle, as long as I can get, like, the umbrella looking nice, I'm gonna have to open an umbrella inside. Oh no, I'm gonna give myself bad luck. Oh no. I reckon I can do it. I reckon I can get it. It might not be perfect and the colours are going to be completely wrong, but I'm going to try my best because Amelie is one of my favourite musicals of all time and I have to do it justice. And finally, Groundhog Day. As well as that, we have a little groundhog that pokes its head up the top. I initially kind of thought maybe that could be me, but there is another animal that lives in this house that maybe could take up that cameo. I don't know. Maybe it's time for Willow's second cameo in a poster. Okay, where do I start? I don't want to throw myself into the deep end immediately because Groundhog Day, even though it's going to be the same outfit, I've got a lot of poses to do. I've got about 14 different costume changes to do for Why Am I So Single. Amelie's just one, so that's a bit easier. I'm going to start with Titanique, like the second easiest one. Is it very Celine? Not really, but I don't own a gold dress, so fine. What am I using for a microphone? I don't know. I don't have a handheld mic. The best I've got is this, which doesn't really look like one very much. So I guess I'm going to use a torch or something. I can edit it to make it look more like a handheld mic, right? Right? And then I need to grab Jack and Rose, who are a lot more simpler. So, slay. All right. Do I go for the hardest one or the second hardest one next? You know what? Let's jump into the deep end. Let's go for why am I single? So I've got 14 different characters to do. I haven't got perfect outfits for them. I got some like lovely love heart earrings that will match Joe Foster there. I've got a jumper that's like kind of similar. It's like spot on for the color, but it's got more details on it for Joe Foster's jumper there. I have a white top and a reddish coat that I'm going to use for Lisa Tully here. And then the ensemble, I'm just going to go with whatever I've got. I'm going to be switching costumes so much. I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to do what I want. And the most fun thing is that I'm going to be changing so much that you're not even going to be able to see it. So I'm going to try my best to show you in the edit. What am I going to do in the edit? I don't know. I'm leaving it up to future me. That's her decision. She can do what she wants. But hopefully right now you're getting 14 different photos popping up on the screen right now. All right, let's go. Okay. I think I'm going to do the slightly easier one first and then end with Groundhog Day. So next up, let's do Amelie. So the thing with Amelie, I don't have anything that remotely matches this well. I have a slightly broken and battered umbrella, but it's black, not red. But I mean, it's a prop, and I'm going to use it nonetheless. It's the best I can do, and sometimes you just have to try your best. The other thing is the green overcoat. Now, the best I have is a coat that I have owned since before I came out. So it's like a chunky men's sized coat. Guess what I also don't have? A red dress. I really should have saved this for when I was more prepared and had better clothes for this one. The hardest thing with this one, besides the fact that the costume does not match the photo at all, is the angle. That's quite an interesting angle to get, and I've got to be sitting on something. I don't know if I have anything to sit on. I mean, I need a full body shot. I think this is going to be a downstairs one. Cut to me having taken the photo now. All right, and the final one is Groundhog Day, which this little puppy's going to have a starring role in. And trust me, you'll know if she sees her shadow because she will start barking. And then I've got to take photos of me in the same costume, but in several different poses, which is going to be interesting. Okay, so I have 4 posters to do. Let's just do them in the order that I filmed them. So let's start with Titanique. So this is the one I have a little bit of practice on. I put together a Titanique poster before, so I already have a lot of the assets. I have the boat, which is great. I have a big old boat that I can put right here. It's going to be right there. It's going to be right in the middle. Honk, honk. I didn't get the angle of the arms quite right. Oh well, I'll just be more cropped off than I was hoping for. Okay, and then we have these. These were the best ones I took. I didn't really get the leaning Jack and Rose that accurate, but they're going to be so zoomed in, it's not going to matter anyway. This is going to annoy me though. Where I've taken the photo, it's cropped me. Ah, no. I could just go retake this one photo. Just this one. You know what? You can watch. I'll be over here. See, but it's fine. It's fine that these photos don't work. Sometimes it's a trial and error, and thank God these are a very easy one to retake. So here we go. Got a whole new bunch of photos. Gonna upload them, bring them in. It's fine. Everything's fine. All right, remove that background. Remove that background. See, were you panicking? There's no need to panic. I know what I'm doing. Okay, send you backward. Okay. It looks so silly. Okay, the other thing is I don't quite know how this is going to line up with the crop. Let's pull forward the poster for a minute just so I can line this up well. And I think it's going to be a little bit weird with how I've sized the me's. Oh yeah, I need to make the me smaller. I can kind of use my arms as a crop. Is that weird? Is that a weird sentence to say? That's what happens in this video series. And you know what? That wonderfully matches the vibe of Titanic. Where the Jack and Rose kind of fade out. They kind of fade out by the arms. Because I'm going to make me a little bit more see-through. A little bit more That's not the right word. I was going to say illuminescent, but that's not the word. Transparent. I'm gonna make myself more transparent. Illuminescent? I think I'm gonna make myself glow. Yeah, sure. So they kind of fade out there, and it becomes like the whiteness of the background. So if I get like a white fade, welcome to the stage, white fade. Okay. 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 Potentially. Okay, transparency. Let's try 50. And I can make it less if once I've got the background, I feel like it can be less. I may have to download just the image of the me's and then make that transparent instead of having like the two images overlapping be transparent. First of all, get rid of everything. Everything needs to go. Goodbye, everything but these two images. Then we're going to make it full transparency again. Boop, badoop. I'm going to bring back in all of my things. Yeah, 10 times better. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Let's take that. Let's get rid of my backgroundy ones. Goodbye, original images. Hello, replacement. Okay, next up, let's do this background. So there is like a full background image I can use. I just don't like it. So instead, I'm going to take this image of like the side of the ship from like the full lengthwise poster, and I'm just going to do this. Just going to flip that horizontally and place them together, and you wouldn't even notice. You wouldn't even notice. Ignore the bottom because that's going to be hidden. You wouldn't even notice that that isn't one image. Wonderful. Magnifique goes to the back. How would you know? How would you know? You would not. Bring back my goal. And I mean, this is already kind of taking shape. It's a process. You got to go with the process sometimes, and the process is processing. And I'm processing my emotions looking at this image. Oh Lord, this is a lot. I also love. I'm not gonna edit the flashlight. I think it's funnier that I'm holding a flashlight instead of a microphone. Let's see where the logo goes. I also need the font because I want to copy the nothing can come between Jack and Rose. Could I also grab my own Ellie Talks Theatre signature to use instead of Celine Dion? Oh, I'm doing that. Hold on. So on a little piece of scrap paper, I've done like a signature. I'm very rarely asked for my signature. People do recognize me, like a little bit. It's surprising. Still, like every time I'm like... But I've only ever been asked for my signature once, and I kind of made this up on the spot. I mean, for something I made up on the spot, it does it pretty good, but I'm going to take a photo of this, and I'm going to try and use it. Moment of truth. There it is. Background remover. Come on. Don't fail me. Don't fail me now. Don't. Ah, yes. Okay. 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 Yes. Okay. This is the Titanique. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. Oh, I'm scared I peaked too early. I'm scared. The Jack and Rose in the background, the Celine Dion, the dress might not be accurate, but you know, I've got blue, which matches the heart of the ocean, so shush. This is wonderful. This is iconic. I'm so here for this. Okay, I think I'm happy. I think I'm happy to move on to the next one. Why am I so single? So obviously we've got a lot to sort out here. The hardest one is actually going to be this hug one. I want to see if I can make this work. It's going to be a lot of fiddling, and look, I don't have Photoshop. So I can't do anything like really smart or really clever, but you know, I've got a lot of characters to sort out here. Let's just jump into it. Now, the thing about this is that I'm going to have to rescale some of it. Obviously, I want it to match this poster, but this poster is a little bit smaller. So actually, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of use these black tape things to box off the areas, because the areas are going to be a little bit differently sized. Essentially, what I'm going to do is whichever ones are on the end, just going to be a little bit bigger. That's the easiest way to do it. But let's roughly line people up. Let's roughly put people into their places. Okay, so right now the majority of them have been realigned. The only one I haven't done yet is the hug. The hug I'm scared of. The hug, this is scary. So if I copy this image over and then I go into background remover, I can then kind of zoom in, come to where my arm is, and then make it so that my arm is like overlaid. I'm hoping this works. It may be a little bit finicky. It may take a lot of fiddling, but I think this is probably the best way to do it. Yeah, what did you do today, Ellie? Yeah, I spent loads of time photoshopping my arms out of an image. Yeah, that's what I did. I really hope this works. I really hope this works. Because if it doesn't, I've spent all this time doing this. So as you can see, I'm going to line it up perfectly so it snaps into place. Okay, actually, okay, it works here. It's a mess over here. Like, I am fading into my own arm. But you know what? That's fine. Do you know why that's fine? Because I can be smart, right? I can be smart. Because if I just make it a bit bigger, I can kind of crop it in the place where the arm overlaps, so I don't even need to worry about it. Amazing. Fantastic. That would be so amazing. Thank you so much. Now, is it weird that the couple is wearing the same outfit? Sure, I'll accept that as a criticism. I should have done different outfits. I didn't think you'd be able to see much of the outfit. I could always just move the other me down a bit more, and then maybe you'll see less of the outfit. But for such a chaotic idea, for such a chaotic idea, I think it actually kind of came out okay. Okay, so next up, I need to get, like, the background. I need to get the guide. So if I do a general background, I can use the gradients to get the right colors. So if I put a gradient on, let's get the pink, and let's get the blue. Let's see how that looks. Kind of goes into more of a purple on this. Now, each of the backgrounds individually goes between the two gradients. So if... I don't know how exactly I'm going to do it, but if I could kind of get the image of the fade, I could maybe make that better. But first of all, I need to outline these gaps so I can get rid of the poster a bit more. Whose line is it anyway? It's this line. I think if I make the line weight 2, so it's a little bit thicker than the original poster, but it will just give me a little bit more flexibility with it, I think. Okay, yeah, that works. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, so the last thing I need is a big old black fade. There is a big old black fade that goes between the bottom of Joe Foster and Lisa Tully. That kind of hides where that bottom black comes in, and to give a little bit more pop to the actual logo. So if I do that, I can then crop this fade, because otherwise it's going to overlap really nastily with that. So we can make it go kind of like that. Let's bring that back to there. Wonderful. Wonderful. Oh boy. So what I can do now, get rid of that. Because the original poster is kind of, it served its purpose now. The only thing is, there's a bit more of a pink in the gradient on this. Can I add another pink to the gradient? Because I think there's a brighter pink in there. I don't know if that's too similar, but let's see. Yeah, that's it. That's more it. Now, the last thing I want to do is, obviously right now, all of these guys have the same background as the main image. But if we look at the original poster, that's not quite correct. That's not quite true. So now what I want is the gradient that I have, but on each of these backgrounds. Now, I'm hoping if I just grab, like, let's just grab a square. Let's grab a square. A wonderful square. I'm hoping that I can click on this and yes, get the background gradient. Let's go. Okay. Because then I can kind of rotate this the right way, crop it like that, and then bring that all the way to the back to there. And that will give each of these the background they deserve. Okay. So if I've done this right, this should now look even more like the original. Oh my God. Oh my God. Tell me that is not accurate. Wait, I'll do a reveal. Wait. I mean, twins? Twins? I think I might be outdoing myself. Garrick Theatre? I'm very happy with this one. I am very, very happy with this one. Oh boy. I don't know how I'm going to get better than this. Oh no! Oh, no. Oh, I really hope it's not downhill from here. I really hope this is just a really good and consistent episode. I really hope that I didn't peak with the first two like I did last episode where I flopped with the final two. I really hope that I'm going to bring this home now. We've done two extremely good recreations. Okay, Amelie. Now, Amelie, I've got to pick a me. The thing about this poster is that I'm pretty sure is just a stock image of Paris. So if I do like Paris skyline, I'm pretty sure I can find like, yep, that's pretty similar. Like, is it perfect? No. Is it like, actually, is that just straight up the same image? That fully just might be the same image. Let's flip. Yep, that is the exact. Yep, so this is just a stock image that they used. So I can just grab the exact same one from Canva. Thank you, Canva. I think it's between these two. Now, you remember what I used for the hug? You remember that? You remember that style? I'm going to do a very similar thing for Amelie, because if I get rid of the logo here, if I pull the logo to the back, you can see that she kind of overlaps. But if I just kind of take the chair, then I'm only going to overlap with that slightly, and then the legs are going to be here. So if I remove my legs from the image and then do another photo where I just have the legs, I can have the legs go behind the thing. Yeah. So the final question is which one of these am I going to use? I think it's this one. I think they're very similar images. So like maybe I'm being pedantic, but I think if I go with that, I can kind of place it like that maybe. Okay, I think it's going to be this one. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, go back into background remover, and I'm going to remove the chair first. The chair is the first thing to go. The chair needs to be removed. The chair needs to go. I might need to make myself a bit smaller, actually, looking at this. I think it kind of needs to be there, so it's not overlapping too much with how the coat falls, but it's like on there, you know. Okay, next thing, let's copy, layer over myself. Who needs legs? Legs, never heard of them. Never once in my life have I heard of legs. What's a leg? So now that my legs are gone and I am hovering, I can now go back to the image behind, and I need to do the opposite. Now I need to get rid of my entire body, but keep my legs. So now, bodies. Who's heard of them? Not me. I don't know what a body is. What's a body? I only know legs. Legs for days. Look at these calves. They're absolutely giant. I don't know why I have such big calves. All right. The rest of me, you can go. You are not needed. You are not necessary. Get out of here. And now I just have my legs. Wonderful. And so if I layer it over it perfectly, then I can take this. I can pull back forward the Amelie logo. I can pull the legs just behind so you can kind of see them through, but not well. And remove that, because that I don't think I need the guide anymore. And that's the basis. This one's quite simple. I knew this one would be a bit more simple, but you know, I think it's very funny. Finally, I can put this background into place. So it's kind of like, it's quite a solid green, but there is a bit of like a glow and a gradient to it. So that's, yeah. Okay, next up, I think there needs to be a little bit more of a glow on the Amelie. You can kind of see bits where it's like sparkling and shining. Can I find like a good shine effect? It can give you the idea. It can give you the idea of like the glow. Yeah. I am missing the red. So using a very similar technique, I'm going to try this. And if it looks awful, I'm not going to use it. But I'm going to try and do a very similar thing that I did with my legs to the umbrella. But this time I'm going to remove it so I can duotone it. So I can change the color of the umbrella to be red. Now, this is going to be finicky because I have a lot of hair flying here, there, and everywhere because my hair was so greasy yesterday. Okay, so I've removed me. I just have the umbrella. Okay, actually, okay, kind of. There's like not a great outline around me. There's not a great outline. It's not great. I would be perfectly honest and true with that. Like it's not great. I could maybe go back in and touch up some of that stuff just to make it perfect. But like, you take 3 steps back, you go to the other side of the room when it's on a tiny screen, and like, the duotone actually kind of works, and it brings that pop of red back in that I think it is missing that pop of red, and now it's back. It does also look like the center of the M is kind of up my. This looks really good. I'm very happy with this. It's a bit more of a simple one, but I think I had a lot of fun with it. And, you know, I may not have had a red umbrella, but I've made up for it. I've made up for it now. And finally, let's do Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day is going to be an interesting one. So the first thing, I need to get rid of the groundhog and put in Willow. I do have a couple of Willow photos that I can use for this. Look at her adorable little face. I'm going to background remove this. I don't know if this is going to be the best photo of Willow to use for it, because obviously you can kind of see there's a little bit of a lens flare from where the light is, but there's my puppy. There's my puppy. That's Willow. Wonderful. That's our first step done. Let's get rid of the groundhog. It's Willow now. Background remove. Let's go. Background remove. Let's go. All right. And the next job is to place. I need to put them all into the correct place. I was going to play with sizes as well, because some of them are a bit more smaller than others. So just make sure that they're all kind of similar-ish size. Now, a good thing about this one is that the color of the outfit did not matter, because it's all going to get duotoned anyway. Like, it's all going to be massively duotoned and, like, messed around with. So it didn't really matter what color things were. But if I could have used a different scarf, if there was literally any other scarf in this house, I would have used it. Now, you may be wondering, Ellie, why are you background removing some of your legs? That's not my leg, it's Willow. Willow was stood behind me while I took all these photos, so all of these ones kind of have a little bit of Willow's fur in the background, and because it matches the black of the tights, it blended in so much that the background remover didn't remove it. Okay, so I have the general outline. So what I'm now going to actually do, now that I have the placements, like that's where they're solidly going to go, I'm just going to lift this up a little bit so I can get the right colors. Now, I actually think this might be good with a white highlight, because as you can kind of see, like, the color of them is a bit lighter. I don't know if this is going to look horrific. Actually, no, that matches quite well. So yeah, if I use a white highlight and then the color, that will give me the kind of texture I want. Let's get the pink. Green. Oh, I wish that was a bit more defined. Maybe if I go for slightly... Yeah, if I go for a slightly darker green, that will just define it a bit more. And the final one is the orange one. Again, just going to make that a slightly different shade of orange. So now what I want to do is I want to go back through all of these duotones and just copy over the color. So the color is consistent between all of them. So that one's also blue. Custom, custom, paste. And that one's also blue. Custom, custom, paste. Now, the only detail that I'm not going to do is the kind of overlap. There's like a blue kind of shadow over where they overlap on each of the characters, which looks really cool, but I'm not quite sure the best way to kind of achieve that effect. I think just for my sanity, I'll leave it how I've got it currently. Now, the only thing about duotone is that a lot of that detail is kind of softened. A lot of the, like, impact, like, as you can see on the top image, they're a lot sharper. They're a lot more detailed. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go here and I'm just going to take the texture tool to 75. It's going to make them a lot more sharp because that gives them a little bit more definement. As you can see the difference there. You can see it just makes them pop a little bit more. Okay, and then I can get rid of the background. And that's Groundhog Day. Now, do I want to resize this at all? Because obviously that is quite small, but it is quite small on the image. I could literally just make it so I get rid of that first blue one, and that would mean that I have a little bit more space to play with. But I don't really want to get rid of it completely, so I'll get half rid of it. And there we go. I'm happy with that. I do want to switch out the Willow photo though, because I think that little bit of lens flare is a bit too much. So let me go back through my history of Willow photos. And then we have Willow at the top. I think the other image is better because it's kind of her, she's a bit more centered, which is the only annoying thing. But I think without the lens flare, it does look nicer. So there we go. Groundhog Day. let's reflect. I think this might be one of the most consistently successful episodes I've done. There's normally always one that I'm like, this is an absolute tank and a flop, and I hate it so much, and I want to cry and fall into a hole. But actually, I think this is really good. Titanique came out wonderfully. The white fade on it works really well. I love the faces in the background. That works. I think the added detail of the specific signature for Ellie Talks Theatre. The only thing I could do or could have done is go back and like change the torch to actually be a mic. Like just edit that in. But I honestly think it's kind of funny. Why Am I So Single might be my magnum opus. Out of every poster I've done, I think this might be the most accurate one. Let's say you were walking down Theatre Alley, you know, the alley by the Wyndhams and an old coward with all the theatre posters. I think you were walking past and walked past this version of the poster. I don't think you would think twice that that's me. If I like flashed it on screen really quickly, you would probably go, oh yeah, that's Why I'm a Single. Wait, hang on. And I think that screams like the accuracy of it. I think it's very, very good. I'm very happy with this one. Amelie's cute. I think obviously I need to touch it up by my hair just to make the red duotone work a little bit better. But I love this a lot. It's cute. Do I wish that the legs were in a slightly different position so that it actually showed off the leg a bit more instead of just looking like a black line behind the Amelie sign? Sure. And finally, Groundhog Day. Oh, I like this one a lot. I wish I could have added in the detail of like the overlapping, the blue between each of them, but I'm happy. I'm happy with this as a recreation. I think this is a very consistent series. I'm very happy. So what do you think? What was your favorite poster this episode? What posters would you like to see me recreate next time? Seeing as we are getting to the 6th episode, maybe it's finally time that I do 6. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this video, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It really helps me, it helps out the channel. Here's some links to some other videos on screen right now and a link to my Instagram you'd like to join me and follow over there. There's other social links and a merch store in the description down below. But that's it for me today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.